Good evening, it's 8 o'clock. I'm Sally Burdett, live from Johannesburg. Your top stories this evening. A day of violence on the West Rand as the community of Bekkersdal protests for power. While outside Vereeniging, red ants and land invaders clash, leaving 2 people dead. And the ANC among those condemning a call by its own youth wing in the Free State to ban a controversial book on HIS Bulletin. This after last night's protest at the book launch. We start here. Another community up in arms, hot on the heels of the chaos and anger in Alexandra township. Bekkersdal residents in the west of Gauteng have also taken to the streets over poor service delivery. They were met with rubber bullets as police stopped their march to the municipal offices. Slindela Masikane reports.
How can you study without electricity?
Since 83
Feeling neglected and forgotten, these residents weren't able to take their demands to the seat of local government. As their voices and numbers grew, so too did the police officers who were clear the march wouldn't continue. This was the result.
People are illegally now connected to electricity. This is what we call izinyoga-nyoga, where people are making their own plan to get electricity.
And the Human Settlements MMC is full of promises.
The wait is over. And as I'm standing here, we have got a side camp that I can take you to that has been established. There's the materials that have been supplied there. And we are continuing to work with the contractor to ensure that we start immediately with the project.
Determined residents are vowing to continue protesting, even if it means they're met with more force. Slindela Masikane, Bekkersdal in the West Rand.
Well, from the troubled Bekkersdal area, which falls under the ANC, to Alexandra township, which falls under DA Johannesburg Mayor Herman Mashaba. He has yet to visit the area and address service delivery concerns. Tomorrow, the president will be in Alexandra, but Mashaba says he was not invited to join him.
I requested the president from last week already when he said he was going. I said, the president, please, if ever you are going, I'm happy to accompany you. He did not want to invite me. But fortunate enough, I've got a scheduled IDP session, which is a legislative requirement for me.
Other concerns in the province. Gauteng police are investigating at least 2 cases of murder and 6 of attempted murder. That's after a land invasion eviction turned deadly near Vereeniging today. Now, the video footage we're going to show you was taken moments after the red ants clashed with land occupiers in Rusterval. The red ants were with the sheriff of the court to effect a court order which was obtained by the Mfuleni municipality to stop the people from occupying land. The Mfuleni municipality says the land was earmarked for a housing development, but a study has since revealed the land has dolomite, which of course causes sinkholes. The deadly clashes today erupted when the red ants tried to move people off the land. One of the residents described what he saw.
They were fighting. When they were fighting us back, we had to run back. Yeah. But that time, one of the guys we were running with him back, they shot him. They shot him, and that for me seems not like a rubber bullet. Yeah. That was a real bullet they shot him with. I had to take him to the Bakkie, take him to the clinic here in Rusterval Clinic.
In other news, it's been a day of condemnation for protesters who disrupted the launch of journalist Peter Louis Myburgh's book on HIS Bulletin. From Parliament's presiding officers, political parties and rights group to the ANC Secretary-General himself. The acts of trashing and destroying the books have been described as despicable and repulsive. Sekho Haji looks back at the abandoned launch of the Gangster State book and the fallout thereafter.
absolute chaos. And those leading the charge were resolute about not backing down.
By the way, the reason the youth league in the Free State responded is because that book speaks about the ANC in the Free State, government in the Free State. And we know that those things are lies, are not true. But the mother body isn't impressed. In a statement, the ANC expresses its disgust and the disruption of the book launch. It also says the Free State Youth League statements will be retracted and a book-burning event scheduled for Monday will be cancelled. Others soon joined the chorus of condemnation, with the DA saying it will lay criminal charges against councillors involved, while the EFF has called it thuggery.
The burning of a gangster book is thuggery. It's unacceptable. It doesn't matter how strong we might disagree with the author. It's orchestrated, it's well planned. The leadership of the ANC is well aware of it.
And the Deputy President also had his say.
Probably it's out of anger and hoping that they are supporting the SG, and this is very wrong. Very wrong.
The author himself agrees the ANC is divided on this matter.
There seems to be a lot of disunity in the party in terms of how to handle this book, in terms of what its approach is going to be.
And the man who's the subject of it all, Ace Magashule, is himself calling on his supporters to stop any other actions planned around the book. In the meantime, Exclusive Books, where the launch was held, will be opening a case of malicious damage to property and intimidation. Johannesburg.
Bantu Holomisa has struggled to back up allegations he made against two companies. The UDM leader faced fierce cross-examination at the PIC inquiry today. Now, he testified that the companies unlawfully received money from the state-owned Public Investment Corporation, which is tasked with investing pension fund money for government employees. Holomisa's allegations of wrongdoing at the PIC were instrumental in leading to the establishment of the inquiry. Heidi Jokas has the story.
A battle of wits. Bantu Holomisa had to defend allegations he made against two companies, Lebashe Investment Group and Harith, when he testified a few weeks ago. Lebashe's legal team wanted facts on the table, but it appears Holomisa didn't have tangible evidence.
The question is, you said before this commission when you testified the last time, you said, I do not possess the tools to verify the information. Now you're saying you are stating them as fact.
These are facts based on the research I've made, but in order to verify the authenticity of or otherwise of those allegations, they have the tools.
And on the evidence that I have given you,
Burger lashed out at Holomisa for continuing to make claims against the company despite a court interdicting him from doing so.
Your real agenda is to boost your political agenda at the expense of the dignity and reputation of my clients.
I've got a direct interest in the management of the pension funds in this country. So I'm not doing it for self-promotion or whatever, or an agenda. So I take a strong exception in what you are saying.
Holomisa is claiming the directors of Lebashe, as well as a former PIC employer and the former Deputy Finance Minister Jabu Moleketi, all illegally benefited from a PIC investment. Heidi Jokas in Pretoria.
In other news, making local headlines, a report commissioned by the Institutional Reconciliation and Transformation Commission has laid bare apparent rampant racism at UCT. Now, the report was commissioned after violent protests under the Rhodes and Fees Must Fall movements in recent years. The report stresses that the possible occurrence of racism at the University of Cape Town is not a minor flaw, but a major issue. The university says it will only comment on the report's findings after it has been tabled at its Senate in June. ANC Deputy President David Mabuza spent the day on the campaign trail in his home province of Mpumalanga today. He told party supporters that party leaders must stop fighting for positions and make sacrifices for the sake of unity. Mabuza said the wrongs in the party must be fixed by this generation of leaders because this might be the last chance. Still ahead on eNews, scientists are claiming that this image is the first direct visual evidence that black holes exist. How about that?
And in your business news, the rand has continued on its winning streak, dipping below 14 rand against the US dollar, and we'll find out why.
Let's talk business and money now with Rafiwe. Good evening, Rafiwe, and you bring us good news. I'm so delighted to see you. Yesterday we heard about the BMW FET College in Soshanguve, which is going to train youngsters in how to build these cars. And today, something from Nissan in Roslyn, also near Pretoria.
Absolutely. So they have committed to investing in a plant in Roslyn for about 3 billion rand. And this is basically part of that 40 billion rand that the entire automotive sector promised last year to invest within South Africa's economy. So this is that first leg of that. So they are hoping that manufacturing will go up from about 35,000 cars which are manufactured annually to about and add another 30,000 cars. So that's going to boost jobs. Just over 1,000 jobs are going to be created over the next few years, and really that's what we want to see. This goes well in line with our what our president has been talking about, trying to garner that 1.2 trillion rand in investment over the next 5 years. So he is well on his way in terms of gaining that investment and really just kind of deterring the naysayers in terms of Eskom. And actually, let's just listen to what the Minister of Trade and Investment, Rob Davies, had to say about how we're dealing with some of the issues when it comes to investment.
There is a sense of confidence among investors like Nissan that while we have problems now, these problems are going to be addressed and are going to find solutions in the medium term. So I think that many investors are taking a longer term view of this country and not focused on the immediate problems that are here and now. But there's no doubt that sorting out Eskom is a priority, and that's what the Minister of Public Enterprises, Pravin Gordhan, the chair of the board and the management of Eskom are all seized with.
Yeah, so crucial to get the electricity issue sorted out. Glad they're grappling with it. Drama for IO Technologies, of course, the testimony we've been hearing from the PIC inquiry. Now the JSE wants to investigate them. What does this mean, really?
So the JSE basically wants to find out if AO has not been falling in line with the regulatory systems of the JSE. So basically saying, has AO been lying about the true value of its company? We did hear on Monday that they were told to inflate the numbers from about 20 billion for profits after tax to about 50 billion. And of course, it's very important for investors to know the exact value of the company, the exact revenue, so that they can make investment decisions. So that's what the JSE is going to be unpacking here, and we will hear more after these external auditors have reviewed 2 sets of interim financial results last year as well as the beginning of this year.
Well, that could really put paid to the 2 sides of the story.
Indeed, Sally.
Very interesting. How were the markets today?
So, Sally, a bit of a good day on the markets today. The JSE pushed higher, closing about 58,000 points for the first time since September last year. Now, this after banks and retailers posted strong gains and the rand strengthened below 14 rand to the US dollar. Onto the commodities front now, commodity prices faring well ahead again today. The platinum price back above $900, while Brent is 1.2% higher today. If we take at the local unit now, the rand has been holding on to those gains made after Moody's delivered somewhat of an upbeat opinion on South Africa earlier this month. But that weaker dollar is also, we're seeing in the US, is expected to continue with its cautious approach on those interest rates in the US.
Thank you very much. Rafi, we'll chat again to you tomorrow. Right, let's look at some international news now. An Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has secured a clear path to re-election. Religious rightist parties are set to hand him a parliamentary majority. This despite a close contest against his main centrist challenger, a vote tally has shown. With more than 97% of the votes now counted, Netanyahu's conservative Likud party looks likely to muster enough support to control 65 of the Knesset's 120 seats and be named to head the next coalition government, and of course also a record 5th term as Premier. And scientists have unveiled the very first image of a black hole in space. Now, the reveal is a world first. Experts have only been able to estimate what a black hole actually looks like. Today, we have photographic evidence. A black hole is a phenomenon with an incredibly powerful gravitational field. In fact, it's so powerful that nothing can escape it. Well, still ahead on eNews, we'll go to Joel Guy at the Weather Centre for your live weather report. Hello, Joel. And then, now, you've tried almond milk, haven't you, Jeff? Soya milk, lactose-free milk. But have you tried this? They say it's the closest thing to mother's milk. Let's get your weather now from Joel Guy, standing by in Cape Town. Evening to you, Joel. I can't figure the weather out. It's rainy, it's shiny, it's thundery, it's clear. What's going on?
Well, Sally, it has become rather quiet in Gauteng, as we see on the latest satellite picture. Just a few patches of clouds still hanging around the province, but here over the central areas, we still have very active and strong thunderstorms that could become severe, especially over the western areas of the Free State and the northeastern sections of the Eastern Cape for much of your Wednesday night. Now, here's what you can expect as we head into Thursday. It's going to become pretty foggy for much of the west coast and that just an interior. And we start off the day with thunder showers over the northeastern areas. It will be partly cloudy and dry for much of eastern South Africa. But later on in the afternoon, more thunderstorms are expected for the eastern areas of the Northern Cape, extending into the eastern parts, including in Gauteng and western Limpopo, and also down into the Eastern Cape and parts of KwaZulu-Natal. It will be dry, however, for much of the East Coast, including the KZN coastal areas and the eastern parts of the province. Then in the evening, we will continue with isolated thunderstorms for the eastern areas, foggy once again for the south and the west coast. Now, if you're in the Northern Cape, you can expect isolated thunderstorms on Thursday over the eastern areas, and it's going to be warm to hot for the province with mostly sunny skies for the western areas. Mostly sunny and warm to hot weather is also forecast for much of the interior of the Western Cape, pleasantly warm for Cape Town with partly cloudy skies. Isolated thunderstorms are forecast for the northern and northeastern areas of the Eastern Cape. It will be dry for the coastal areas, and a warm to hot day is forecast for much of the province. Dry for much of KwaZulu-Natal with isolated thunderstorms for the northeastern and southwestern parts of the province. We're also going to see thunderstorms for much of Mpumalanga, dry, however, from Bombela, peaking at around 27 degrees. Much of Limpopo will also be partly cloudy and dry with a small chance of thunderstorms across the western areas. We stay with thundery showers for much of the northwest, where highs in the lower to mid-20s are expected. We are going to see similar weather and afternoon temperatures across much of the Free State, and Gauteng should also see isolated thunderstorms on Thursday with top temperatures around 23 degrees for Johannesburg and Soweto. And just quickly looking ahead to your Friday, thunderstorms are possible for the eastern areas. Otherwise, it will be dry for the rest of the country. That's all from me, Sally. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Joel Guy there in Cape Town. Well, finally, they say there's nothing better than mother's milk, or is there? Now, one mother says this long-held belief isn't necessarily true. She's found an alternative and says it's done wonders for her 3 children. But what exactly is different about this milk? Mobile Madlala finds out about the very latest trend.
It's amazing stuff. I really think it's like miracle milk.
I can't seem to put a finger on what's different. A little like low-fat milk, but different. Those in the know say it's closest to human milk. And this mother agrees.
Donkey milk is the closest milk from any other mammal on the planet. It has no sugar in it. It has no preservatives in it. It actually helps the gut rather than affects it. So where formula is something that you will have to test with your baby and see which one works with her, donkey milk will immediately just be fine.
And so I found the source. And the benefits seems to go on and on.
It's got a 60% higher vitamin C content than cow's milk. It's hypoallergenic, so a lot of kids with cow's milk protein allergy who can't tolerate cow's milk, who can't tolerate goat's milk, can tolerate the donkey milk. The other thing about the milk is it's got a natural antihistamine, a natural anti-inflammatory, and a natural antibiotic in it.
While it may still be a fairly new trend in South Africa, this drink may just give you a pep in your step. Randfontein.
I love a new craze. Let's just recap your top stories this evening. A day of violence in Bekkersdal as they protest over power. While outside Vereeniging, red ants and land invaders clash, leaving 2 people dead. From me and the team, it's a very good night.